The Morgan Report with David Morgan. Discover how to build and protect your wealth at themorganreport.com.
David Morgan of themorganreport.com for the week ending 13 March 2026. Well, it wasn't the best week for silver this week, as you can obviously see. We started off around the 90 level at the beginning of the week, and we ended up down quite a bit below 80 on the last print. So that would be, as you can obviously do, $10 in a week. Certainly not something expected by some of us, but nonetheless, that is the reality of a big downtrend for the week. Doesn't mean it's over, and let's investigate a little further. There was a big sale that took place on Friday. I'm looking for it. I'm not going to find it and waste more of my time. You can find it. It's all over X. I'm just having trouble finding it. Moving on. Reposted from Bald Guy Money. I've been offered huge money to promote some of these scam IRA companies. Tucker's right to expose them, and the scum sucker their audiences into choosing less reputable dealers. I looked up Italian Metals, and whom Tucker is dealing with, someone I've known for more than 20 years. Highest integrity, or one of the highest integrities in the business. The people I use are equal to. In fact, I just checked prices. They're within 0.5% of each other. So certainly that can vary day to day or under market conditions. So the people I choose to recommend, and I'll do it for free if you want to know who I choose most of the time. It's not one size fits all, but this is 95% of the time. This would be your best choice. You can just DM me on X. Just do a direct message, and I'll connect you. So moving on further, a few other things. I did an interview with Bronson again. It was a four-way. It was myself, Dana Samuelson, which is a coin dealer, does bullion and Numis. Really good on Numis if you're interested in that. I bought a few from him. It's not my main interest by a long shot. Just a great guy. Andy Scheckman, who's probably one of the best known on the web of anybody. Russ Gray, the real estate guy, who does a lot of really sound thinking and help to others. Real estate oriented somewhat, but gold as well. Bronson himself. So hopefully I didn't leave anyone out. It was a back and forth. I suggest that you go into this and take a look. I'm referring to this one right here. It is rather lengthy. I forget, it's about an hour long. If you want to get into what's going on as far as how the COMEX really operates, just before 9 minutes into this recording, Bronson asked a question about the COMEX. Andy talks about it, and then I talk about it further, and also show you some basically irrefutable evidence. It's just absolutely the facts of how little change there is in the COMEX inventory over years and years and years. There has been a dramatic change this last year with what came from London into New York and out of New York, and so in and out. And I explained that as well. So nonetheless, it's probably a bit of so it's just a bit of a refresher of, the COMEX is set up for derivatives. We all know that. That's what the market is. And that is not only how it's structured, that's how it's maintained. Now, I'm not taking away any of the shenanigans that have gone on. I've done a couple videos on that. All I'm telling you is facts are facts, and the amount of flow in and out of the COMEX is not nearly what is being implied by some commentators. So I'll leave it at that. You can investigate, watch the video, and you can make up your own mind. Along that same idea, it's when I reposted from Bob Coleman talking about what's going on at the LBMA. I addressed that, as I just said in that video I just showed you, with Bronson and Andy and the others. Bob's talking about the collapse of the LBMA is going to happen, just like the COMEX is going to run out of silver in March. And so Bob said, I've stayed consistent and said metal will leave the COMEX and flow to London because the metal will go where it's treated best, the highest price. Arbitrage opportunities paid very well, and tensions in spreads and financing rates subsided after October 2025, just as he had predicted. And here he shows you some charts kind of verify where the flows are and where they're going. So, and we have to give a shout out, or I'll give a shout out to Nick Laird, Gold Charts R Us. Nick is unbiased. He just puts the facts out there. And if you look at those, pictures worth 1,000 words, you get a pretty good idea relative to misinterpreting deliveries versus deliveries off the exchange. There's far, far, far more deliveries within the exchange than there is outside of the exchange, meaning metal leaving the exchange. And it ebbs and flows. There is metal that leaves the COMEX, and there is metal that moves into the COMEX. And the last thing I want to bring to your attention is working with the Citizens for Sound Money. This is a post that, again, I reposted. Breaking news: Maryland Senate Committee unanimously passed SB 309 to end all sales tax on gold and silver. And that's a good start. Of course, there's a lot more to it. And now there is one more thing to bring to your attention. All right, so last thing up is the landing page, morganreport.com. You hear this almost every week. We'll go to the blogs real quick. And this is the latest I did with Catherine Austin Fitts. So it pops right up there. All you have to do is type more, and it'll bring it up on YouTube. Catherine and I have known each other for quite some time and really got into it. I did the interviewing. She did most of the talking, which is great. And you can read the background here on our blog, of course. But also all you have to do is press this go button and you can hear the whole interview. So I will leave it at that. I'll be back with you next week with another weekly perspective.
The U.S. government debt is about to cross $37 trillion. That's not a typo. That's trillion with a T. Tariffs are being used to try and even the playing fields. Global supply chains are shifting. Inflation isn't going away. And the value of your dollar? It's quietly being drained while no one is really talking about this. The truth is, we're living through the early stages of a financial reset, whether anyone wants to admit it or not. And if you're still relying on mainstream headlines or financial advisors who just tell you to write it out, you could be blindsided when things really shift. That's where the Morgan Report comes in. For over 25 years, David Morgan has been helping investors cut through the noise. He tracks what actually drives markets, from precious metals and mining stocks to global debt and monetary policy, and show you how to protect and grow your wealth when the system is under stress. This isn't just about gold and silver. It's about having a clear-eyed view of where things are headed and making sure you're not caught off guard. The Morgan Report gives you real research, honest analysis, and strategies you can act on, even in a world of rising debt, unstable currencies, and economic uncertainty. Go to themorganreport.com today, download your free report, get informed, get ahead, and take back control of your financial future. Themorganreport.com, because $37 trillion in debt won't fix itself.